Gentlemen, welcome to our inaugural session of this. I think now I'm regretting that we put this in here, Michael. The Iron Chef Planescape, because it's a bit spoilery. First session.
Oh, do you think if we post this online, will we get sued by Iron Chef? Maybe we have to.
We might get sued by Iron Chef. So who knows? Mithril Cookman. Yep. Welcome to Mithril Cookman.
I love it. It's my favorite show.
Yeah.
I'll have to change the logo.
Yeah. All right. So just to start things off, just to give you guys a little background, remember, we're all level 5. So, well, me and Michael are not level 5. We are level infinity because
we own you.
Oh, yeah. I guess it would be sort of prudent for everyone to go around and introduce themselves. You don't have to, give a description of your character, but maybe just say who you're playing and what they are. Ryan, why don't you...
Okay. My name's Ryan. I am playing Gwenilla Greyborn. She is a 75-year-old Goliath Warlock, so I'm about 8.5 feet tall. I wear half-plate armor, and I have a big old sword, and I've got a weird shield.
All right. Sam?
Okay, I'm Sam. I'm playing Crack Sizzle, which is the literal sound of an egg cracking and then frying. I'm a Kinku monk who has achieved self-awareness, metacognition of a sort, from a traumatic event that gave him his name. And let's see, what else do you want me to say?
That's about it. And maybe you just describe what you look like so people who don't know what a Kenku is.
I am a flightless bird creature.
Looks sort of like a raven.
Yeah, looks like a raven.
Yeah. But just for clarification, the actual name Crack Sizzle is how everyone else pronounces it in common. But when he says his name himself, he actually, the sound of a cracking egg and sizzling, that comes out of his mouth.
That's right.
Because Kenkus are fucking weird. Matthew, why don't you tell us who you are?
I'm Ruben Silverfang. I'm a bronze dragonborn, and I am a swashbuckling pirate.
All right, so Rogue, and then Bryant.
I am 7 Roots. He just goes by 7. I am a Tabaxi, is like a humanoid cat man, and I am a ranger.
Cool. All right, so yeah, that gone around the table. So in terms of setting, like we said, we're sort of doing Planescape, but again, this is our prologue. Welcome to the prologue.
And for legal reasons that we shall not go into, it is like Planescape, but it is not really Planescape.
It's Planescape. 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 Yeah. But anyways, so we are currently in the world of Faerun, which was, made famous by the Forgotten Realms novels and play setting, which is, home to Dritz de Worden, and that's really all I know. That's all I really know.
There's a lot of games.
Wolfgar the Barbarian, I think. Some other ones I can't remember.
Bruno Bronzebeard.
Yeah, that cat. He has that cat. Anyways, if you want to Google a map of Faerun, we're in Silvery Moon, which is kind of in the center. And just a little background on that city. It was often dubbed the Gem of the North. It resembled and emulated the former lost elven city of Mithril in many respects. One of the few civilized places in the middle of the rough and untamed wilderness that was the north of Faerun. Thank you, Vicky. But it's like a very kind of like rich, cultural, cosmopolitan type city. So you guys have definitely found that basing yourselves in this area, you found it to be a little more tolerant than other more, racist areas. Like Waterdeep. Silvery Moon. Just in terms of what where we are.
So we're not in fantasy Kentucky.
No, we're we'd be like in fantasy, kind of in the middle of things, but still notable,
Fantasy Austin.
Yeah.
Fantasy Austin. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Sure. Fantasy Austin. That's where we are.
I love Fantasy Austin. It has great fantasy barbecue.
But specifically, the four of you. All right. So the four of you find yourselves in a large room inside a. The room you're in has windows lining the wall to your right. They're thick with dust. The curtains are drawn. Barrels and sacks, coils of rope, all kind of sit just piled up on the right side of a burning fireplace, while a few more barrels and a bookshelf flank the other. There's a pot of something bubbling over the fire. This would actually seem like a cozy environment to be in any sort of other situation, but this really isn't any other situation. You find yourself smack dab in the middle of a dizzying horror show. You're glued to your chair, all but locked in place. A table separates you from an elderly female Goliath with tattoos covering her face. She smirks, clearing her throat. You're sweating. This is the kind of thing that any sensible adventurer fears. A group job interview. In the chairs to your right and left, you see four other people. One, a wizard that looks barely old enough to cast light, a spell they literally teach babies. And the other is a foul-smelling brute with a cauliflower ear and a scar over one eye. Since we've all gone around the room and sort of described how we looked already, we can sort of skip that. And just pretend there is a dopey-looking wizard sitting on that fifth chair. The Goliath unfurls a scroll. Ryan? Oh, Gwynelia?
Yes. Well, I want to thank each of you for showing up. I know the journey must have been long and hard, but we're hoping to find a place for each of you within our organization. I just have some questions for you. So when I come to you, if you could just answer. My employer has his eye on you.
Is your employer
Like right now?
You only have what? Is it a Cyclops?
Let's move on to the questions. Let's just move on to the questions.
My greatest weakness is I work too hard.
That's a good one.
I've been told that by many people.
I heard I'm too much of a team player.
Okay, one at a time, please. One at a time.
The burly, scarred-looking human next to you, he slams his fist on the table and he says, "I am Luchok, the contender. I am to be respected, all right? You know me. Everybody knows Luchok, so get on with it."
Well, let's start with you, Luchuk. Have you ever worked for or are familiar with the Xanathar?
The what? See, what the hell kind of job interview is this?
The little wizard pipes up. I've actually heard of the Xanathar before. We studied him in my magic creatures and beasts section of my apprenticeship.
Okay.
My name's Doran.
Dornan?
Doran.
Interesting.
Doran
So just to confirm, so you have worked for him, or you?
No, I've just heard about him. Something is in the water deep, right? It's a beholder.
Yeah, true. Yes, he is. That is what he is. I'm gonna stand up from the table.
Okay. I'm gonna sigh quietly, nerd to myself.
Luchuk,
Is there a door in the room?
Not
like
seemingly.
So I would assume that you escaped from here down here. Can you see my little circle?
Okay, so there is. Okay, so I'm gonna walk around the table and stand above Doran and grab him by the scruff of his shirt, and just start dragging him. Oh, there he is. Yep, Doran. And start dragging out, and I'll just drag him out the door.
I don't want, sir or ma'am. Sorry.
No.
You're really big. What? Why? And so you throw him out the door.
Yep, throw him out the door.
Great.
Wait, is the door open, or is he throw him into a door?
I throw him through the door.
Definitely through.
Through the door.
Excellent.
And then I go back and I take my seat.
Yeesh, Mondays. Am I right or am I right?
I'll sort of shuffle my papers, go back and sit down, sort of leaf through some of my papers. I have a pair of old lady readers on that I have on just the tip of my nose and looking down at everyone as I'm. You get the impression that I may not actually know how to read.
Wait, can I do a perception check? I want to see if the papers are right side up.
Okay, yeah, roll. Yeah, hit your perception.
Oh, there it is. Got a 10.
You can't see what's on the scroll.
So you can't tell that it's upside down or not.
Yeah, he can't. She's holding it in such a way that you're not able to read anything on it.
Okay.
How about?
So we get job, right?
You are really trying me, Luchuk.
Try what?
Oh God. Okay, how about 7? What is the hardest thing you've ever had to cook?
My character, he scratches his side of his neck of his back foot, and he says, "My sister, Jade."
Am I drinking anything? I'd like to roll for a spit take.
Yeesh.
I do choke a little bit.
Oh boy.
So you cooked your
It wasn't necessarily the difficult of be preparing the meal; it was just the emotional toll of
Right. That's fair. Fair enough.
Did she come out okay?
No.
Oh, what are you saying, man?
I guess I'll go into my backstory here. I was captured by trolls at a young age and forced to cook my siblings for the trolls.
But did they
Oh,
taste
cooking
good?
Yeah.
I could not eat them. I had to cook them for the trolls.
Hey, we do what we have to in this life.
Yes.
I didn't realize trolls I thought they were like raw, like sushi. Like I didn't realize they like things cooked. That's rough.
These trolls did. After my cooking skills.
Okay, well, boy, Ruben, let's move on to you. What is your She actually does turn the papers around. Okay. Here we go. That's better. Do you have a criminal record? Are you wanted for anything, Ruben?
Wanted? People like having me around and do want to get to know me better. But wanted?
Not really the question I'm asking.
I mean, who's really wanted? I mean, it's all about perspective, really. Misunderstandings,
Right.
Wrong word here or there.
Yes. We're only. I guess we're not human. We're not human, but we are. Only,
We are what we are,
There
aren't
we
we?
go. We are.
I think that's something we can all get behind.
Will all of you roll perception?
Ruben rolled a 16.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's red. I like how it shames you with color.
I rolled an 11. Wow.
All right, so Ruben and Seven, you hear like a pounding behind the fireplace, and kind of like a huffing, but you can't really make it out over the crackling of the fire and the bubbling of the soup. That's all for now. Continue.
Okay. Well, So crack.
Crack
I am
sizzle.
Okay. Do you have any family? What is your family situation like right now? Would you, if you went missing, would someone miss you?
I was raised in a monastery.
You didn't cook any of your siblings, did you? Because if so, I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
And... No, I've never cooked any of my siblings, to my knowledge. But I consider all birds brothers and sisters, despite the fact I can't fly. And no, I don't have any hatchling brothers and sisters. But I consider all of my Kinku brethren and sistren my family. And I work too hard, and I really want this job.
Damn, he took my answer.
Yeah.
All right, and you on the end. What is your name again?
I am Luchok the Contender.
He is Luchok, the contender. Can't you tell?
Luchuk,
That's what you sound like.
what do you bring to the table? Why would we hire you?
You hire me. You ask me to come here, and you ask me why you ask me to come here. You should know why you ask me to come here. You know what I mean? This is bullshit. And he throws the table over, and he just "Rah!" and just like shows off his muscles.
My character reacts by my tail fluffs out.
I look at Seven and I just whisper, adorable.
And so at that moment, you hear a great big crunching thud onto the back wall behind the fireplace as like dust and little embers sort of spill out there. And a minotaur breaks through.
I was pulling for Santa Claus, guys.
Whoops.
What is happening?
Oh no! Oh no! I grabbed the wrong layer. There we go.
He smashes through the wall, spilling that soup you were cooking, Ryan. Cornelia.
Fuckers.
Just everywhere. There is soup all over the ground. It's ruined. What was in that soup?
That was Seven's other sister.
We only had one, but
Wait,
cat,
there was
some
a
cat
cat
soup.
in there?
I mean, it may have.
So roll initiative.
No one told me there was going to be a Minotaur in this, and I didn't know I was competing against a Minotaur for this job.
No one told me there was going to be cat soup.
All right, so go for it, Trek Sizzle.
All right, so I'm going to attack with my weapon. We have our weapons, right? We have all our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, so I'm going to
Also,
attack
but
with...
you need to move first, though.
Oh.
So, because you're about. So just so you know, each square is 5 feet. So.
Oh, how does like hopping over a table or something work?
That's hopping over a table. That's I think easy enough that it's
as long as it's like if you're not trying to do something super like dexterous, it's just considered difficult terrain. So basically,
it would take up one extra movement.
Yeah, it takes it takes an extra one movement to move into difficult terrain.
Yeah, it's like 10 feet instead of 5.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And you can all note that there's a little measuring tool in your left-hand toolbar. If you want to click on things, you can click on that and then measure how far things are. And it takes into account the fact that diagonals are, they count, every other diagonal counts for 2. So that we don't, piss off Pythagoras too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just jump up to the Minotaur, attack with the Marbler, which is my special weapon. That it's 1d6 plus 5 plus bleeding damage. So I'm going to attack with that.
It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. It's like those Chinese carving knives. They look like like the butcher cutting knives, except instead of being squared off, they're still curved at the end.
Okay.
So it's like one of those, but it's basically a short sword.
Cool.
All right, Mike. So he probably hit that thing, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk us through this?
Okay, so you hit the Minotaur, so go ahead and roll damage by clicking on the name there. Yeah, you go. So
And so now you need to do a Constitution save, right?
yes, so I make a con save and get a 7, and so I fail the
Oof.
con save. And
Cool.
he's going to bleed again, as I recall.
Yeah, so it's every round until he succeeds at his saving throw.
Okay, and so I'm going to put a little icon on him. Oh, there's no little blood icon? Okay, I'm going to put a little heart on him.
So,
Oh, he loves you.
so just so everyone, like what Sam's knife does, as he slices into this minotaur, it sort of like cuts cleanly along the edge of his skin. It just gouts blood from him, like anime style.
Or Tarantino.
Minotaurs have very high blood pressure, you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yep.
And with that in mind, I'm going to use my monk ability because I have the I get an extra attack since I'm level 5.
All right.
So I'll just give him a little
Slicey.
double poke,
follow-up.
double poker real quick. And since I guess I still have that in my hand, I'll use
Now remember, Sam, one of the things you can do is if you hit him now with an unarmed attack, because you're holding your Kensei weapon, you get that added bonus to your AC.
Okay, then
So
I'll
that
use that. So I'll do unarmed attack.
Ooh, 12 is not enough. That is a miss.
Ah, bummer. He's pretty quicksy then, this Minotaur.
he's big and burly. He's covered in fur armor.
All right, so
Okay.
next in line is Ruben.
So I ask our host, I can kill it, right? Because the last time I killed someone in a job interview, people wanted me for questions.
Am I? Is this
You
Minotaur
can respond as a free action.
Yes.
I really
do
need this job.
each of
Okay.
these.
So I kind of combat roll over here, rakishly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Hold on a second.
You're gonna slide under the table.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna roll under. I guess you flip the table, right? Or is the table still?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So you're gonna kind of parkour over it.
Yeah.
Very stylish.
And now you're standing on a chair.
And now I'm standing on a chair, and it's sort of leaning on 2 legs, but I'm balancing on it because I'm very dexterous.
That's some Matrix shit.
Uh-huh. And I'm sort of spinning it on one leg as I slice at the Minotaur with my rapier. 17. And then I'm going to click rapier for damage.
So 8.
All right. And then because I successfully did that, I will do fancy footwork and move again without an attack of opportunity.
Baboon. So you backflip off that chair back onto your old stool, or where are you gonna go?
Does it look like those barrels are leaking anything, or are they just barrels? Are they fine?
No, they look fine.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll just backflip backwards because that just looks really cool.
Mm.
Aha!
Huh. Now you're back to sitting on.
Right into my chair, and I'm like, that's how you do it. I've nailed this interview.
I give you a little pat on the back.
Okay.
You do no. You make muffins on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Ruben doesn't hate it.
All right.
So Ryan, is Gwen gonna get out of the way, or is she gonna fight?
Yeah, Gwen is actually, she's going to gather her papers from the table she was sitting at. She's going to like straighten her papers and actually just move over to the side and sit down and cross her legs.
She's all business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that brings us to 7.
All right. I do. I have to feel I have to compete here, so I do an awesome backflip off of my chair and move back here.
What?
And I'm going to shoot at the Minotaur.
So 7 draws his longbow, knocks an arrow, and
Ruben suddenly wonders at the depth perception of cats.
Okay, I'm clicking on. Wait.
oh, there you go. You got first one. You got it. Is that a natural 20?
It is.
No, it's 18.
No, yeah.
Does it let you know if you
Yep.
got 20?
Green.
Yeah, it turns green.
Yeah,
It
it's
goes
in green.
Yeah, it goes green.
All right, so he definitely hit it. So just hit either one of those longbow things on there.
And I'm also going to use.
Oh, yeah. Colossus Slayer. So, there we go. Nice. So why don't you just use hit your damage on your longbow.
How do I do that?
So click the longbow +1 in the chat. Okay, so 10 damage, and then roll. You're going to do Colossus Slayer. So hit that in your character sheet.
Not too shabby, Tabby.
Ooh, I like that.
So he did 17. And you have another attack, right?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to attack again.
What?
I mean, I guess you could just use that second. The second. I mean, I don't mind, right, Michael?
That's not how D&D works.
Okay, that's right. You have to reroll.
Okay.
So, you guys watch as Seven backflips off his chair, knocks 2 arrows into his bow mid-flight, and launches them into this fucking minotaur, like ripping through its shoulder.
Yeah. It cries out in its horrible, guttural bull Goliath roar.
Really fucking hurt.
It says that?
I don't speak common. That's the only thing I know how to say in common. That sentence and this sentence explaining it.
Yeah.
Here's.
I mean, all you guys hear is.
So, that ends us 7. And now it brings us to the Minotaur, who has had enough of this bullshit right here.
Is he holding anything? Like, does he have a weapon, Mike?
Is it his dick? Is he holding his dick?
He is not.
Well, I mean, his dick is hanging out
Cow dick.
because he's not wearing any clothes, so it's just like a really big bull.
Yeah.
It looks like his
Really?
dick is Sam.
Yeah, this isn't one of those
Hands are right up in
Hollywood
there.
gorillas that has no dicks, like in.
No, this is like the what's it called? What was that movie? The Seth Rogen.
Oh, this is
Like,
Jeff?
the end.
Yeah, it's like that. Just a huge, and it is fully erect.
with blood rage.
He is horny for battle.
Okay.
Ruben realizes he looked at it and he can't stop looking at it.
It's really, I mean, majestic, really, when you think about it.
Hey, it's a true beef sausage, man. That's how you.
Comes with a casing and everything. All right, on to the Minotaur's attack that he.
Okay, he is holding a great axe, and he raises it up to swing at Crack Sizzle. He gets a 16,
Okay.
which is a hit. And
Wait, does it go to attacker or defender?
attacker, because
Okay.
that is the target to hit.
That's right.
Okay, so he does 16 slashing damage.
Oof.
Ouch.
I see Crack Sizzle get hit, and I make a note.
So the Minotaur has just gone completely apeshit, and so he's going to push past Crack Sizzle. He's not going to move out of your range here, but he's going to just roar and knocking the table out of his way, the other table out of his way, and any chairs kind of go flying, just turn into sawdust as he goes through. You can see he's just like red in the eyes, foaming at the mouth. He is completely lost his shit, and so he's going to gore Ruben. And he gets a 9, but because he's going reckless, he's going to get advantage on his attack rolls, but everyone else will have advantage to hit him. Because basically he's let his defenses down in a last rage of fury. So I'm going to try one more time for advantage. All right. 21. That will hit.
That's a hit. That hits. I feel that a little bit. It stings.
Okay, 17 damage to
Oh, God. So you're like lifted up by his horn. Gores you. You're like stuck on it.
Okay. And the Minotaur just blood gushing out of him. He's still bleeding like crazy. I think that he will save on his turn, right? To try and get rid of the bleeding.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll see if he saves to stop bleeding. He does. Okay.
That's okay. I'm bleeding all over him instead.
So his anime blood sport just all of a sudden just.
Is LeChuck going to do anything ever?
So on Luchok's turn, he says, "I do not get paid enough for this," and he runs away.
I knew it!
He's not a team player. Take note. Not a team
That
player.
is not a team player.
Okay, top of the round, Crack Sizzle.
Hell, annoyance.
Because Ruben is really petty, he turns and he wants to make sure she made a note of that.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
Me too. That's so
Don't
much.
worry.
Okay, Crack Sizzle.
Okay.
You got a serious case of battle axe into the chest,
Yes.
and it's not feeling good.
I'm gonna run. Just take a step behind the Minotaur. And how is he feeling? Like, what?
Yeah, how's he look?
How does this Minotaur looking?
He looks like he is hurt enough to be really mad, and he has a lot of his guts are spewing out of him in ways that they should not be spewing out of him. So you think that he's not on his last legs, but he's seriously hurt.
I'm going to attack with the Marbler again. 19. So is that good?
That is it.
All right. Whew.
And you actually have advantage on this attack, both because he raged and because you're flanking him. So if you'd like to try for a critical hit, you're welcome to. Okay. All right. So he needs to make a con save, which he does not. So he's back to bleeding again, and so you deal him a hearty 10 damage, and he is bleeding again.
Okay, so then I'm going to I'm going to spend one of my key points, and I'm going to do 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
Right after an attack action.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and roll 4 since you have advantage, and we'll compare the first 2 and the second 2.
Ooh.
All right, so you got a critical, and you got a 15 is enough to hit. So they both hit. So why don't you roll damage on your critical? All right, yeah, click the critical one and see if it does the crit damage automatically. I'm not sure. Oh, it does. Excellent.
Oh, well, wow.
Okay, so you do 6 and 16. Okay, so Crack Sizzle, he shifts around back behind this Minotaur who just, tore his way through you guys and put on a big show. And, Ruben and Gwen and Seven, from your guys' perspective, you see the Minotaur, kind of cry out in a roar that ends in just a sputtle of blood as he falls over. And when he falls onto the ground, you see that his back is just completely split open, and it's just blood. There's just no hair. It's just all blood. And
Am I still attached to the horns?
No, you were gored, but you were not stuck on them.
Okay.
So the Minotaur is dead.
Any of the blood that splashed on me, I just quickly lick up.
I'm gonna quickly go over as the man falls to the ground. I'm just gonna grab like a haunch and start carving off meat to replace the cat stew meat.
Minotaur stew.
I'm very upset by my torn tunic. I'm gonna have to buy a new one, and they're not cheap.
You all did very well. You passed my test.
Can we eat the Minotaur?
I mean,
was perception how I would see if she's full of shit, if she thought that this was part of a test.
Insight.
I want to try that.
All right, roll. The 3 of you roll for insight.
I have very bad insight, but we'll see what happens.
That's good.
Oh shit! Okay.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
How full of shit is she?
Holy
She's
crap.
not.
God.
She is not full of shit. You do kind of get the impression that she's kind of clueless, though.
Yeah, Ryan, why don't you give us a sense of your emotional state?
trying to play it off like this is something that I knew was going to happen. But based on your checks, you can tell that I was sort of caught off guard as much as you were. But very much trying to play it off like, yes, this is, good job, you three.
So this happens a lot, huh?
This is the second one today.
How'd the first one go?
How come there's not Minotaur stew of this?
Okay, let's flip these tables back over and continue with the interview.
I'm bleeding out. If I could have something for that, that would be awesome. I might actually be holding my own spleen.
Ryan, you do know that nearby, in some of the barrels in the corner of the room, there is a stash of healing potions reserved for just this sort of thing.
Okay. I will move over to. Let's go over here to the bags and the shit piled up over here. I'll fish out like assume it's like a red potion, a red glittering potion, then walk over, then sort of
poison.
Uh-oh.
While they're doing that, I check to see if the Minotaur has any shit to steal.
He has a battle axe and a really large penis.
I can't. I do the math in my head and realize I can't put those anywhere.
Well, I don't think you're being creative enough.
And then I'll offer the potion to Crack.
Whoa! Thank you. I would gladly accept any potion.
So, you guys, you offer them heal potions just for the sake of narrative forward motion. You're fully healed.
Sweet.
Because we're going to be fast forwarding in time. But just for the record, and I don't know how you guys want to divide it up, but you guys have 10 healing potions between the four of you. So Ryan, have you seen that list of items?
I saw it earlier. I can go back and yes.
So you have a list of items, and your employer has told you that these, from what he believes, to the best of his knowledge, this caravan carrying these rare ingredients was waylaid on its way from Waterdeep to Silvery Moon, near the town of Pete's Hollow, which is kind of near the what were they called, Mike? What was it? The Evermoors, which are the southwest of Silvery Moon. Just a few days.
Yes, I have the Dragonheart, the rare herbs and spices, rubies, water, and then the fire salts. So basically, where do we find ourselves?
So you're here. You're still here. So why don't you just finish the job?
Do we all sit down at the table with the dead Minotaur?
I think we do.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just drag it out of the way a little bit,
Ruben scoots the chair back a little bit.
Yeah, there we go. We get him a little off the table there.
I sort of am wiping the blood off the table.
I'll lick that shit up.
No, yeah, we should go for the Minotaur dick stew. I think that we have pretty good Minotaur dick stew.
Dick stew. I haven't had a good dick stew in a long time.
Well, you've never had my dick stew.
No one wants to take it as a trophy? Just have a Minotaur dick hanging.
The memory of its flavor will be the trophy.
Excuse me, Crack, you're in my chair.
Well, I'm very sorry. To my original.
He sort of bird hops over the table.
Well, I think that, you all passed my test, like I said. I think that the three of us will work well together.
There's four of us, but I figure that she can't count.
Right. I sort of chuckle. I will in future confrontations I'll gladly join you, but you understand I had to sit this one out.
Why?
You definitely did that.
I did.
What's the
let's.
job?
The job is my employer. He's a man of.
Cyclops?
Please stop talking about my master's eye. I mean, he has two. He has more than. He definitely has more than one. He is a man of refined taste. He has had some items stolen from him,
Bummer.
and it is our job to recover them.
Are any of these items spoons?
No, they're
Brian,
not.
please roll perception.
Roll for spoon, please.
Oh, you definitely see the wooden spoon that fell out of the cat stew.
Oh,
Really?
FYI,
I'm going to pick that up. Where is it?
it's behind Guinelia
Okay.
on the
I
ground.
move over and I collect the spoon.
Is it like a quick laser pointer jump, or is it like a slow sling?
Oh, I'm very excited. So.
Oh, so it's a pounce. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's aggressive.
So you all see Seven pounce on this kind of shoddy wooden spoon that's sitting behind Guinelia.
Well, that's interesting.
is he licking it up?
Seven does not explain himself.
I mean, but does he put it in his mouth?
But we're watching him. We're not.
Yeah, we're watching. What do you do with the spoon?
Yes, I lick the spoon and whatever the contents are, and just kind of lick my chops, and then just.
It is cat.
You lick your spoon, so you're cannibal?
No. Tabaxis and cats are totally
They're
different.
totally different.
Well, wait. I like the
judgment
fact that
here,
this
Brad.
bird.
No judgment here,
I
bruh.
pocket the spoon.
Just
I turned to the bird. I'm like, that's racist. That's racist. What you did. Racist.
What? Racist.
Species.
Not all
fair.
cats are the same.
And so it's
No,
just
I think
a
about
normal,
I think about that and I go, yeah,
normal
that's fair.
wooden spoon. Nothing fancy about it.
Okay. You have a wooden spoon in your inventory now.
Okay.
I speak directly to Seven and Crack, and I say, the two of you, we're not going to have a problem. The two of you work together.
I make the sound of a barking dog. That sounds perfectly like a dog.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes. Do I have all of your agreement? The job is yours if you'd like it.
What's the compensate? What are we talking about compensation wise?
That is a good question.
It's the best question.
Whom do we get to eat?
My employer promises
I
riches
see.
and glory unimaginable.
Yeah, I've gotten that pitch before. Do we have any benefits? Like, what's our dental plan?
Delicious revenge.
You get to keep all of your teeth.
I mean, that's fair.
I'll sort of put my fists on the table and just sort of crack my knuckles along the table. So, do we have not a deal, but
Maybe we have an accord.
yeah, we have an understanding.
So, are you guys going to cook this Minotaur? Is this something you guys plan to do as a group?
I vote yes. I think that we should.
Yeah.
Minotaur.
I think there's nothing better for sort of team building than like a nice meal together, a team building exercise.
All right. Well, wonderfully done, guys. Killing that Minotaur. I think that's great. So I'm adding something into the Google Drive that is a little supplement that will help everybody with cooking things. So let's see.
Oh, before we get into the cooking, Carlos, I'm wondering. I think that there's probably a little bit better sales pitch for why they want to come, aside from kind of riches beyond and adventure.
Mhm.
And without getting too deep into it, I think it would be fair to say that on the table is that his employer is like looking to form an elite group that he plans to take with him on an adventure, but essentially that this interview was separating the wheat from the chaff, as far
To go
as
on the
like,
test run.
to go on the test run, and that this what they're about to do now, they will be well rewarded for doing this recovery effort, and then the reward for that is an invite to his team, that he's going to like take on a very secret exotic.
I'm telling you, man, one eye and a team. It's Sam Jackson. This is Nick
We
Fury.
don't know that he has one eye.
So
Man,
anyway,
many
That
eyes.
was just phase one of the interview.
yeah. So I just wanted to give your characters a little more something
Thank you.
to hang their hat
Thank you,
on,
Mike.
than just oh, it's riches
This-
and stuff.
This is why there's two of us. Gwen explains
Yes.
all of that to you in her voice.
Yeah,
Um,
in her sexy baritone lady
Mhm.
Goliath voice.
so who's going to take the battle axe?
How heavy is it?
I think they're like 10 pounds.
Mhm.
I mean, you can stuff it in, your D&D pocket.
Do I have a pocket of holding?
No, but just everyone just carries around just an enormous amount of shit all the time, even in combat.
And what is the weight limit? Because I have total weight of 0.
I mean, we're not going to really be concerned with it unless. I mean,
Within
I don't know,
reason.
Michael. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Within reason. Don't you can't just I'm going to stuff the Minotaur corpse in my pocket. No.
No, but I might take that dick.
You could.
No,
You could
we're gonna
take
eat
you-
the dick.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
eat that dick.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
putting that in
that's-
the bag.
That's the primary ingredient in the stew.
Well, unfortunately, there's no fireplace in.
I
It
know
doesn't
there is.
matter. I'm gonna keep it for later. I know some people who pay good money
yeah, the fireplace.
for Minotaur dick.
And apropos of not of Minotaur dick, but of weight restrictions, where we're not going to be keeping too track of close of weight restrictions, ammo, food, unless there comes a time for an interesting adventure reason. If we were to send you out into the middle of nowhere, that might become a more interesting thing to keep track of.
Yeah, if you have to forage for food, or if you've been disarmed and taken prisoner, you won't have your ammo.
Right, but
You know.
in a regular, normal circumstances, we're not going to worry about that stuff. You're going to be stocked up on arrows and shit.
Granted, now if you find something like a fire arrow or like a magic, consumable, something like that, yes, you have to keep track of those things.
I'm going to take the Minotaur's horns.
Oh, okay, cool. So Gwenelia just
I'm gonna take the dick.
okay.
Ah.
Gwenelia just puts her really size 18 boot down on the Minotaur's head and just snaps off one of them.
I'm taking both.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, illustrating the first one.
It's
You
like
take the second one, so you have 2 Minotaur horns. Ruben, you have a Minotaur dick. I don't know. I guess you could dry it. I guess
That's what I'm saying. I know some people. They like
there's definitely there's got to be a black market. for that.
Listen, it's not even that. D&D has kinks just as much as anyone else. And
Look,
some-
there's got to be a spell somewhere that has monster dick as a
Mhm.
spell component, right?
the component. Yeah.
I think
I
that.
have this idea for the first fantasy dildo, and this is going to be step 1. I have typed it out as Minotaur member ×1.
What?
All right.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
jealous.
Proper.
I would say type it out as dried Minotaur member because we're gonna cut forward a bit. And
All right.
Right. Yes.
the other thing that he impressed upon you is time.
Okay.
You have 2 weeks from the start, and it takes you a week it takes you half a week to get there. So you basically have a week at the location to recover this item.
Okay. All of the items, or
All of them.
oh boy. Okay.
Do I have to show receipts for mileage?
Yes, please save yours.
Nope.
He's providing you with a wagon, so it's his mileage.
Perfect.
Uh-huh. But you have to provide your own oxen.
No, you don't.
After a few days' ride from Silvery Moon, you round a bend. Kind of, you see a river up ahead of you on the road. Past the road, around the bend, and you on the side of the road, you spot kind of just an abandoned, ruined caravan. Looks completely ransacked. What do you do?
Can we do a perception check?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how ransacked. Ruben just peers at it.
We're looking at the cart that's destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are up ahead. Well, is one of these their cart, Mike?
Yes.
I'm zoomed out and scrolled down, and now there's just black fingers of darkness.
So the
Yeah.
black fingers of darkness are line of sight blockers. Basically, like you can see like around the black square that there is wagon wheels and stuff like that. It's kind of like showing that you can't see like through the wagon,
Mm-hmm.
but if you walk
Okay.
around the wagon, you can see all sides of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start looking. I'll approach the ruined wagon sort of cautiously.
Wait. So which one is theirs, Mike?
So
What are you saying?
the ping is the ruined one, and then this one is theirs.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
What's
we're
this
here.
one?
It's don't worry about it.
Okay, that one doesn't exist.
All right.
That is the road. It's a hieroglyph.
I want to take a look at the ruined wagon.
I'm gonna look at the area around the wagon because this, in Ruben's line of work, seems like a non-union trap.
Indeed.
Okay, so, all right. So it looks like Crack and Gwen, you guys roll investigation, and then Seven and Ruben, why don't you roll perception?
Yeah.
Okay, Crack, you don't find any.
Damn it. Not
God.
great.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Gwen is on the ball.
And Brian. Okay, so I'm just gonna do Gwen first.
Okay.
So one thing you notice is near the caravan there are scorch marks on the ground,
Okay.
and kind of like done in like a beam shape.
Right.
And in the cart you find one jar of fire salts, and you notice something. The rocks just I guess it's below you, but I guess it would be. That's technically to your west, the way that I'm thinking of this is actually going. But you notice something behind the rocks. But we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
So Seven, at the edge of the woods, you notice something kind of strange. There's a jackal, just kind of sitting at the edge of the woods, watching you. And as soon as you lock eyes with it, it bolts, disappearing into the underbrush. And it strikes you as odd. Actually, roll nature. Well,
I mean, it isn't as odd.
you see a jackal in the woods. But you notice it, and you notice it bound off. So,
You tell anyone else about the jackal?
well, that's up to
Hey guys, there's a jackal over there that ran around.
I don't think that's any weirder either. Jackals, am I right?
Jackals be jackals.
Jackal.
Man, we don't know. If
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Am I rolling a nature check too? We're all rolling nature checks.
If you want.
Sure.
Why not?
You hear him mention God.
We don't. We're city monsters. We don't get out much.
I don't think we know what a jackal is.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I don't think Gwen does.
Nope, definitely not.
Gwen, you found the fire salts. So, is there anything you want to?
I'll grab the fire salts and put them in my bag.
Okay.
And I'll sort of give the caravan another sort of once over, give it a little bit more of an in-depth looking for things.
That's all you find. It's been like picked clean and destroyed. But like I said, you did notice something kind of south of the rocks.
Well,
Okay.
and
You can't-
Carlos, perhaps we should address like the scorch marks as well.
Well, yeah, I did say there were scorch marks, but
Yeah, I mean, so specifically, I mean, it looks like there is some kind of battle here because
Yes.
there's like a lot of people moving around, things kind of dragged here and there, kind of.
There is detritus everywhere,
And-
like
Okay.
more
what
so
kind
than
of-
is demonstrated in this drawing. Right
What
here.
kind
There's
of-
some shit?
Terrain are we?
It's pretty flat, like road. Like this looks like. I mean, it looks like it. I mean, to be perfectly fair, it looks like it could have been bandits that had a mage with them, but it looks like there was some pretty intense fighting going on.
The fire assaults, were they out in the open, or did I have to like find them?
No, they were like buried deep in like the
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
How long ago does this happen? Is this pretty recent?
You can't really tell from the stuff around that area.
Okay. I'll go check out down by the rock. Is it down here?
You don't see much going towards the forest, but Guanila, when you round that corner, you find 2 corpses that look badly burned, and they look maybe like a day, like 3 days old,
Okay.
or a few days old. Like they've been
Are
sitting
they
out in the sun.
What are they? Can I tell what they
Humanoid.
are?
I mean,
Humanoid?
one's human and one's half elf.
Okay.
But yeah, but from what you know of your employer, this looks like it might have been at least part of the mercenary company that had been contracted to take this stuff to Silvery Moon.
I'm gonna sort of pat each of them down and sort of check their pockets and see if they're holding anything.
They've been picked clean. Like whatever has gone through, like really did a number on it. Like even if it was like they didn't take everything the first time, like if they've been out here a few days, so you imagine other travelers or bandits have come by and picked the bodies.
We're too late.
Did
yeah.
you not have any spoons?
No, there's no spoons. You do know that Pete's Hollow is about a day's journey, but you've been traveling around this really dense forest for a long time. That's now to the north of you. What would you like to do?
I'll ask who's the ranger again?
I am.
7.
Perhaps we should try and track that whatever that creature was that we saw run away. I don't like the looks of that.
But as long as we're in woods, that is my woods. Forests are my favorite terrain, so I can track the shit out of stuff when we're in forest areas.
And we already established there's no it doesn't seem like people retreated into the woods or anything. There's just been a bunch of people here.
Yeah, but you do see tracks leading towards Pete's Hollow.
Okay.
Looks
So
like humanoid tracks. Like when you were looking earlier, Brian, tracks of people that might have left here have headed towards.
I mean, how professional were these dudes that you hired that are now burnt crisps on the ground?
You didn't hire these guys. These guys were outside hires from Waterdeep.
I think that we should. Did we get any leads on where to find the rest of the things that are on our list?
All you know is that this wagon came from Pete's Hollow.
So it means does it seem like they were attacked by the jackals or something else?
I don't know.
Well, the jackal is just like a dog.
Oh,
So
Yeah, you don't,
so
you don't
it's
think the
just-
jackal was shooting fireballs?
it definitely
Just
looks
after-
like it looks from what you see in terms of
carrion.
tracks.
Yeah.
Like from what you see in terms of tracks, you only see humanoid footprints, and you see like several scorch marks on the ground that look like they were from a mage.
Mm-hmm.
Something, or someone was burning the ground.
So now, did this caravan have everything? Had all the things on the list?
It had everything on the list. Yeah, this
Okay.
was a thing carrying everything. Yeah, you're not going to have to I'm not going to say you might have to track things down in the floor room, but it was
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's just head towards Pete's Hollow. If that's where the tracks are leading, let's head that way.
We're back in the menu screen.
all right. Well, so you guys
Choose your
You-
character.
so you guys approach from the north of sorts. Like you're headed, as I said, the forest is to your north, and you're following this like kind of gray, sludgy river that is directly to the south of you, and you're traveling east. The road is muddy and wet. It looks like it rains a lot in this area. It's really kind of boggy, gross. A lot of mosquitoes. I mean, it might be like Florida, but like landlocked. And you notice as you kind of slog down the road that there are these like two burnt out buildings housing large metal stills that have been just completely devoured by rust. So on your right, beyond them, you see that river, gray and thick. It really doesn't even look safe to drink. And across the river, you like golden fields of what looks like maybe wheat or barley. And you can see farm workers harvesting the grain. To your left is a dense wood, definitely has a spooky-ooky vibe.
I'm back.
As you continue down the road, you take a turn to the south, crossing a bridge, and the first building you see on your right is a sizable two-story with a sign, the Fort Emporium. And from the looks of it, it's kind of like a general goods store. And across the street from that, there are 5 large whiskey stills next to an impressively sized distillery. From this angle, you can't really see. But from the bridge, you can see a smaller footbridge extending from behind that distillery back across the river that you just crossed into a disgusting-looking peat bog, where you can see workers slogging through the muck, pulling up peat out of the sludge.
Well, my thought, whoever stole these ingredients, I mean, they probably tried to either sell them once they got back to town to get rid of them, because I only see maybe about one of them that might be of a use to like an alchemist or.
What were those ingredients again?
There is the fire salts, which we have.
Nailed it.
You found 1 jar. You don't know how many there were.
Oh, okay.
But you found 1 jar.
Okay. Powdered water, which I'm assuming is sand.
Okay.
Powdered water.
Powdered water is interesting and impossible.
4 fist-sized rubies, 4 very large rubies. Several packs of rare herbs and spices. And then a dragon heart preserved.
Guys, I just realized this is the KFC secret recipe. These are all the ingredients.
Except for birds. This is a trap.
Okay.
I will
so
say, go ahead.
Do you guys want to just open the map? I put it up in the Google Drive. So, as you sort of come in, I guess, like where are you? Where would be your first priority to head when you come into this town? And I can sort of explain where you're.
Where did we start? What number? What part of town are we in?
You came in from the northwest, and so you passed those 2 peat bogs right
So
there,
you're 13?
and 13 is the river.
Okay.
13 is the river. 15, those 2 square buildings were the burnt out distilleries that you saw.
Next to the wheat fields, right?
No, the wheat fields are 17. 1 is all this. It looks like ramshackle residence.
Yeah.
5 is the really big distillery, and 6 is its peat bog. You can see beyond that a waterfall that is also kind of pouring out the same gray, polluted-looking water. Yeah, and then you can see another river going off in a different direction, which you can't quite see the rest of yet, which we'll get to depending on where you move. But right now you're on the bridge between 2 and 5, next to all those little round things.
And what point of order, Carlos? Ryan, Gwen would probably know a little bit about the mercenaries that were hired. Is that right?
Yeah, you knew that there were 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were led by a dragonborn. You don't know his name though.
Okay.
I was
We
just
didn't
curious
see
if they
his
were
body,
idiots
right?
or if they were professionals.
You did not see a dragonborn.
Yeah,
Okay.
you saw 2 bodies, and in theory there's supposed to be 4 of these people.
Do we know what color Dragonborn it was?
You don't.
Okay.
What the heck?
I think I'd like to head to the. I think like the general store.
Okay, so that's 2. That's right when you come in. That's the Fort Emporium, and it's very. I mean, it looks very kitschy on the outside, and like it has a lot of signs for like great deals and sales and stuff like that, and clearance.
Is any signs that say like we buy gold or like?
I mean,
we buy stolen goods.
The medieval equivalent of we buy gold.
Okay, cool.
I think everybody in medieval times.
Right. I'm gonna head there and see if maybe they tried to offload.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk it? Are you guys all going to go together? What's the sort of plan here? Is that you all going in there?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, seeing if somebody fenced. Does anyone else think it's weird that like there was like a bombed out distillery near wheat, and the wheat's fine, but this fancy distillery is using peat bogs?
No. There's peat bogs next to each of those distilleries, and then there's wheat across the river by the houses. Wheat is 17. The wheat fields are 17. Those are fine.
I know they're fine. It was weird.
And peat is used in the creation of whiskey.
Okay.
And that's the peat is 1.
6 and 9.
6 and 9, and then those other 2 by 15.
The ellipses.
Yeah.
Ellipses are peat bogs.
Okay. Obviously.
You can tell that this is where the GMs ran out of mapping budget. This is like it's like
this
in a
is
movie.
Like, how can I do this really fast?
Yeah, it's like in a movie when they run out of VFX budget, and like all of a sudden, like all the scenes are people back in the castle receiving letters about all the battles that happened. It's like, oh, this battle happened. It seemed really. I mean, there was fire everywhere. You should have seen it.
Or you get knocked out right before the battle happened.
I want you guys to know that all of these buildings are just concrete blocks.
No doors, no windows.
No, just concrete blocks.
Yep.
Also, the people are concrete.
I really appreciate the attempted perspective on number 12 with that waterfall coming down off that cliff.
Yeah, that's artistry right there. That's artistry.
I like how that happens, and then everything else is on the wrong perspective. Like, all these buildings are standing on their sides.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not an artist.
I love it.
Well, yeah. Well, let's head to the Fort Emporium and see if,
that's where I would go if I wanted to offload
stuff. All right, so you guys know, though, I don't have any money, or I have a vow of poverty, and I like to steal things.
You sound like the worst.
Are you going to tell them that?
I'm going to tell them that, because they need to know that I have a vow of poverty, and I'm going to try.
I'm going to claim to be professional that definitely doesn't steal things from.
Okay, well, you guys walk into the general goods store. In the somewhat dimly lit room, you see shelves of the kind of things you would expect to see in a general store, kind of adventuring goods, from ropes and different kinds of like winter gear and boots and arrows, basic things that people might come through, and also that the town folk might use. So. Flour and sugar and some kind of basic needs.
Do they sell any of the whiskey that they make?
Yes, I would assume that he has a few bottles of the whiskey there.
No, there is, Mike, on that one. There's definitely a display of the Gentle Cud whiskey there.
Okay.
With a little sign that's like, try me.
Ask about my free offer. So coming out from behind the
7
counter,
will definitely take up on that.
you see a kind of large man in a kind of worn apron, rubbing his hands and looking around and kind of excited / surprised to see people kind of walk into his store, and like he you can tell that he walks out like ready to open his arms and welcome, and hesitates for just a moment when he sees the monster squad that has walked into his shop. But he rolls past it. And he says, "Welcome, sirs. Please, my emporium here has the finest goods for adventurers such as yourselves. You are
Still
adventurers, I assume.
That is what we do. We adventure.
Dressed
Definitely.
this way. Would you like? I have fine boots, lanterns. Would you need rations for the road? I have all of these things for you.
We're actually looking for some very specific items.
We have a list.
We have a list.
Oh,
I pull out the list and I show him the list of the things that we're looking for. These things were stolen from our employer. We are willing to buy them back.
I don't know anything about this sort of thing. These things. I mean, who would have this sort of thing? You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna clock that. So yeah, I want to do a bullshit check.
Okay, it's an insight roll.
Yeah, it is. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at it.
Wow! There you go.
So I mean, the first blush, most obvious things is that he's a little bit wary of the four of you being strange as you are.
Also, just a thing to keep in mind: nobody introduced themselves, so we don't know his name or theirs.
Yes.
I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. I have a method.
So you get the feeling that his kind of odd reaction at seeing this list was actually him being more cautious of you. And like he's like a little bit like these guys are into something crazy, strange. Like not just do they look like monsters, but there's something really weird going on here. But he's really trying to just keep the sales pitch going. Like you can tell he's like consummate salesman. He's just gonna roll past that when the giant and the cat start, questioning him, and he's just gonna kind of just keep rolling. But you don't think that he's like it wasn't as though he saw the list and was like looked to his back cupboard where all the things that he hid are.
Sure.
And he says, so one such as yourselves, you come through here to venture into the Grey Wood, I assume, and I have excellent prices. I have Adventurer's Pack right here. Has all the things you need to go into the Grey Wood. I can sell you 4 Adventurer's Pack, very good price.
I
think
pull out my wooden spoon and ask for a whiskey.
He would like my friend here. I apologize. Hail and well met, my dude. We are in fact adventurers.
Good.
Whose store is it? Who are you? Whose store is this? This fine Emporium. Are we walking through with our clawed and talon? Well, no, you have normal feet. Yeah.
Yes, I have very normal feet.
We welcome you, great adventurers. All manner of adventurers are welcome here in my Emporio. I am the owner. I am Fortinbra, and this is my shop here. And yes, I definitely always cater to adventurers as they come through. One such as yourself, indeed included, as well as others.
I mean, I know, I get it. We are. I kind of take him by the shoulder. I'm like, hey, listen, I get it. We're a lot to take in. I understand. You don't need to worry. We tend to stick out. I mean, have you seen many like us wander through these woods on adventure?
Well, not quite like all of you. Adventurers, certainly. Elves and dwarves, halflings. I've met several gnomes, I believe.
Dragonborn?
Yes, I believe a dragonborn or two I have met. I think one came through my shop not long ago, in fact. All sorts of common races as well as uncommon ones.
Uncommon, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh yes, my friend. Would you like an adventurer's pack? Has all the things you will need.
I'd like to inspect one of your adventurer's packs.
Oh, please,
Absolutely.
please. he shows you to a shelf of various like adventure-y kind of goods, knives, lanterns, etc. He gives you a spiel about why his lanterns are handcrafted and rubbed on the
Artisanal.
bosom of a maiden and all sorts of nonsense.
I definitely. I mean, how good are they?
So they seem fine. They seem like normal. Sam, they look like crappy.
I knew it. These look like my clothes.
They look fine, but they look overpriced for the quality of gear that they are.
Yeah.
Why would someone need an adventurer's pack to go in woods? Woods or woods or
This is
woods?
like shopping at REI, guys.
No, this isn't like REI. This is like whatever like
This is a 7-Eleven.
the mall sporting goods store.
Seven's
It's a
throat
dick.
is
This is
dry,
a
and
dick.
Seven wants to get some whiskey.
My friend here would love to try a sample. Is it a free sample? Free sample? For my friend?
With purchase, of course. Free samples with purchase. To answer your question, going into the Grey Wood, many adventurers go into the Grey Wood, many never to be seen again. They were unprepared. They did not properly equip themselves, you see. So this is even more reason to be well equipped and prepared. Though many go into the Grey Wood, never to return.
It doesn't really read like a great brochure entry, does it?
I think you're just telling us that to sell us adventure packs.
I'd like to actually go back to, you mentioned you had met a dragonborn previous to my friend here.
Oh, yes. A while back, they came through with a few others. I'm not too sure.
Did he buy an adventure pack?
Oh, yes, many adventure pack. Who had a good insight? Sizzle
I did.
and Ryan?
I had a good one originally when I was reading the guy.
Well, yeah. So going off of that, you see that he kind of like he's really glossing here, and you can tell he's kind of like looking to be paid for his services.
Do I have money? I don't think I have money.
I'll pull out. I'll ask him if he has change for a gold.
You know you're really like a baller tipper when you like palm the driver a 20 and be like, "Yo, dude, can I get some change?"
Yeah.
In general, you can think of a gold piece as like $20.
Sure.
So like slipping someone a gold is like a reasonable enough thing, but asking for change, what are you, a commoner?
Ryan, you were given this. This was a 100 gold budget. This adventure.
Okay. So yeah, I won't ask for change. I'll just pull out a gold. I'll sort of rub it in between my fingers and say, "So that dragonborn that you've seen, how many were with him?"
Oh yes, there were him and 3 others came through a week or so ago, looking to resupply and gather food and what have you.
Do you know what direction they were headed?
I'm just trying to remember. And he, leans a little forward to you.
Okay. I'll pop out another gold.
Have you set these on the table yet, or are you still holding them?
Yeah, I'll put them down on the counter.
Okay. He picks them up and kind of, bends them or tries to bend them and give them a little bite, and he kind of looks at them and, like, eyes you guys, and, he pockets them. He says, yes, they were on the road up the road to the north around the lock.
I have another question. Is there anything in this shop that is actually worth anything?
Huh. My friend,
No, that wasn't a question to him.
That right there illustrates the importance of character voices, my friend.
So, okay. Wait, even in character, I think that Cracks go, "Crack!" No, all this stuff is crap. Like, most of the stuff is pretty shitty looking to me.
Like, Ruben realizes that he's wondering if there's anything worth stealing in this. in this place.
So if Crack's gonna insult his goods,
But no, so that's to the side though. Like I'm not just like going over.
He's like elbowing me and being like, all this stuff
I'm
is
just-
shit.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
making he's making the sound of an animal shitting while looking at them.
And I'm just eyeballing the place for either insight or perception or whatever to see if there is anything worth anything or if it's all sort of shitty.
Well, I was just gonna say it all looks pretty shoddy.
Okay.
Like, it looks like low quality adventuring.
Okay.
Used goods.
Yeah, it strikes you like the first gas station that you get when you get off an exit, or when you're coming into a place where it's just like it's about like 20 cents more expensive per gallon than like one that's just a mile down the road. It's like that sort of thing. It's the first place coming into town, but it's also
Just
from what you
rip
saw
off the-
the only place.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, and you would assume that he has some kind of cash store, and he has valuables, just not on display.
Sure.
But you'd have to.
And you're only in the first floor. There is a second story.
Okay.
Is this second story open to us?
I wonder if I should ask for the little dragon's room or not.
What were you asking, Ryan?
Is the second floor open to us, or is that like his living quarters?
I mean, you don't know. You don't even see in this area like that's kind of cordoned off. Looks like about like half the building. Stairs upstairs. It's just this is a shop front.
And it's very common for shopkeepers to live above their shops, so that would be the assumption.
Right.
I'm not going to Ocean's 11 this yet.
I'm going to ask him about if he has heard or has seen. We saw something strange when we were coming into town. We saw what looked to be it was like a dog or something. I'm not quite sure what the beast was, but have you heard any reports of strange creatures that are not from these parts, or
Also, burnt corpses. That was also very in line.
that's also yes.
Burnt corpses. I don't know what is that, but yes, there are creatures that roam these woods. I hesitate to even mention it to you. There are hunters in the woods. There was a group of knights that they said that they were sent to slay monsters in this area, and I could not believe that our town was to be was bad enough, but it is truly dangerous out there. And perhaps I can interest you in a sword. I do keep a small stock of swords underneath the table here. That perhaps if yours is going dull, perhaps a sword might be more your speed. If you have your rope and your rations set aside.
Seven is not interested in swords, but how much would you charge for a spoonful of whiskey?
He says, a spoonful, you say? Well, my friend, I will pour you a glass for one silver piece. I will pour you a glass. Maybe all your friends. All your friends would like a glass. So we play 1 gold for all the glasses. Yes.
Seven does not drink from glasses.
I'll take his glass.
Or spoon, however you wish. You could spoon it out of the glass if you wish.
That'll do.
Okay, 1 gold, please, for the 4 whiskey I pour for you.
All right.
So where is this? Is this brewed from around here? We saw it come.
Oh yes, you do not know? Our town is famous the world over. Faerun raves from coast to coast about the whiskey made right here in our town.
Seven will be judge of that.
Oh, my friend, you will not be disappointed. You will see that this place, we have 2 very fine breweries, 2 very fine, but one is legendary. Everyone has seen this brewery, taste this whiskey. You have tasted it. You just do not remember tasting it. But when you taste it, you will remember, and you will know how much of an excellent legend this whiskey is. And he pours you all glasses.
I mean, I've gotten pretty drunk some nights. It's possible.
Bryant, you find that the glass is too narrow for the large wooden spoon to drink from. To spoon it out of.
Well, you could
Okay.
pour it into the spoon from the glass. You know, it goes both ways.
You can figure that out, Michael.
That's gonna be a dexterity
That
roll.
was-
That's
that
a
was a
dex
puzzle?
roll.
Right.
Was that a puzzle, Carlos?
Yes. Yes.
Right, yeah, I have to pour the whiskey into the spoon so I can lap it up. 'Cause
Dex,
I'm
dex,
a-
Roll
dex.
dexterity.
So he, hold on, just some clarity really quick. So he poured us all 8 glasses of whiskey.
Yep.
Is
So now
there
you have
a
to drink that with your weird bird mouth.
So
Is
yeah,
there
I'm
a-
trying
is there a
to track
logo
that
on it?
down.
Oh,
Good enough. Good enough.
Seems like it's fine.
All right. You don't spill whiskey all over your.
Sam and Matthew, I didn't hear your questions. What was
I just want to know if I'm drinking out of a novelty glass. Is it like a souvenir shot glass?
Oh, so
No.
also you do see the brand of the whiskey is a sort of like it has a very friendly looking cow printed on the front, and it is the Gentle Cud Distillery.
Wait,
And can everyone roll history?
is this good whiskey?
Yeah, I gotta
It's
know.
very, very, very smoky. Like one of the smokiest whiskeys I've ever tasted.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
History.
Okay, so actually, I mean, all of you get it. You guys all recognize the brand. Like you've seen this. It definitely has made its way to Silvery Moon before.
This is like Bud Light.
No. This is more like
It's like Lagavulin.
yeah, like Lagavulin. Like this is like a really fine whiskey. This brand, and it's older than all of you, right?
Put
'Cause
together.
none of you guys are really long-lived races.
The
Right.
the whiskey itself is older than we are.
No, well, the brand is. Like, it's
Oh, okay.
I thought
been
that too.
around a very long time.
but it's probably been aged like 8 or 10 years. Like it's seriously, you know, they take their whiskey seriously here.
And I'm just like, my character just laps it up.
That is a damn fine cup of whiskey.
Oh, my friends, I'm so glad.
So Seven Roots, what would be your Yelp review on this whiskey?
Oh yes, yeah, it was, yeah. 7 is very impressed by the whiskey and actually pays for another.
Well, wait, do you have any money, or do you grab another coin out of?
Why are we
I think-
doing? We're sitting out of our pool about it.
You just dragged it, pulled another coin out of my little purse.
Another
that a
round
sleight of
for
hand?
everyone.
All right. Well, you fellows, I don't want to put a damper on a good time, but we have business to attend to here.
Yes.
Buzzkill.
I know.
It's time for buzzed investigation of this town. What are you doing?
Yeah, that whiskey is very strong. Everybody roll con.
Make a con
all right.
save.
So, where would you guys? You leave the Fort Emporium.
So we didn't buy any goods. We just bought 2 shots of whiskey.
Yep.
Yep, that sounds all right.
Yep.
You did some
Sounds-
investigation though. You learned some things.
Sounds like a Tuesday.
All right, yeah, that's a good Tuesday.
We did learn
Okay.
Dragonborn here recently.
So I think
Yeah.
we should go check out the farm if that burned down. If the distillery burned
Yeah.
down, I think it's worth going to check
I
out.
wonder
Especially
if
because it
it's-
tasted so recent.
Mhm.
No, well,
Yeah.
it didn't look recent. It looked like
No,
like
but
I was saying, it was
if
like
that
restaurant.
whiskey tastes like smoky
From getting burned a week
from
ago.
getting burned, from surviving a fire in the warehouse.
Oh my God, it's murder. She wrote over here.
Okay, so you guys want to go back and investigate the 2 other distilleries on the other side of the water?
Let's head over there. Let's take a
Yeah.
look around. I have no better ideas.
Okay. Which one do you want to check first? The north one or the south one?
Let's do the north.
The North remembers.
Okay, everyone roll investigation.
This is the 6, building 6.
No, it's 15. These 2 buildings over there.
Rolling investigation.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so Brian, you find a sign
That says I did it.
It's. I mean, it's you clear some brush away. It looks like this has been, it's been gone for quite some time, like at least a couple months. That this thing has had a fire in and has been shut down. But you find a sign for the Fairy Fire Distillery.
Oh.
And yeah, you find that at the top one.
I want to roll an irony check.
This distillery is called Fairy Fire, you said?
Yeah, it was the Fairy Fire Distillery. There's nothing suspicious about it in the present. You don't know how these things broke down.
Yeah.
Right.
Buildings don't spontaneously combust, so that's...
Like distilleries
I think
might.
Gentle Cud took out the competition.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Where's the Gentle Cud distillery from here?
5. It's
5.
5.
Okay, 5.
And 6 is its peat bog, because ovals are peat bog.
Is this what we're worried about, actually, though? What are we looking for?
The things we're looking for, trying to track down, we don't have any leads. We're trying to track down the powdered water, the rubies, rare herbs and spices, and then a preserved dragon heart.
Because I think that we could maybe... I don't think that the Happy Cud is going to help us right now. It's interesting, but I'm not sure. We need to have better leads on the other items, too.
Yeah. We may want to just go to number 1, go to like the home, see if we can, I don't know, talk to people and see if there's anyone that has, seen some strange people in town or
that aren't
has
us.
A nice buzz now, so he's
actually, is he purring at this point?
Oh yeah.
So you guys head over to 1?
Yeah, I think so.
I have tossed the map into our Roll20 scene.
Hell yeah!
So you
Look
can
at that.
see it. And,
Shit, yeah.
Fewer windows.
Nice.
Wait, where is it?
We can get it. You're showing off.
Well,
You got it.
I like to think of this little space here as our theater of the mind.
So
Get off the
you
map.
you don't really find many people home, but the people you do find are kind of afraid of. But you're pointed more towards kind of the town center, where there's the town master's office, blacksmith, a tavern, and then the 2 other distilleries that are running.
Can I
Taverns are always a good
just
place to ask around.
do
There's
some
whiskey
really
there,
cute
too.
cat things to like warm the villagers up to us?
Yeah,
You
can
are
make
a
persuasion-
man-sized cat.
You can make a
What do I
persuasion
roll
check.
for that? Kind of, run around and play and
Jesus Christ.
I actually take my sword and I use the reflection so that he's like chasing it. Look at him, he's adorable.
Wait, where are we doing
Do you
this?
have persuasion, Bryant?
sorry.
We're doing it in the houses over near 1.
The people are, more amused than afraid once the cat starts dancing around and, hopping and bopping. A few children, kind of point and are like, looks like you're curious, a little bit scared to approach, but more amused and just hesitant.
Have you no shame?
7 has a buzz on. He has no shame.
I mean,
cat.
you guys get the sense that these, peasant farmers, work in the fields, and they live in this little town here, and they're not the power players here.
Yeah, and it's what is sort of clear from is that the peasants kind of work in one of 3 places. They either work in the barley fields, or the 2 peat bogs. One for the Gentle Cud distillery and the other for the distillery, which is the smaller one on the other side of town, number 7.
The what distillery?
The Smoky Bandit distillery.
But the people, have a reasonable amount of respect for their town master, who they kind of like have high hopes for, but they're also kind of the peasantry seem a little bit afraid or unnerved in general, like not just of you guys, but of their
Just outsiders in general.
Well, no, there's
of
something
their lot in life. They're a little bit afraid.
And there's clearly kind of something that they don't really want to get into.
Does it involve spooky woods and nights?
Nope.
What were buildings 3 and 8?
3 is the townmaster's office. 8 is the tavern. 4 is blacksmith.
I say we all get wasted.
7.
Yeah, what time is it?
Always
What
down
time is
for
it?
that.
Yeah, what time of day is it?
It's about midday.
Beer
It's
clock.
It's beer o'clock somewhere.
But we've already been drinking. That's.
I mean, that leads to
And?
more drinking.
And
I'm just saying, my bird bones can't take it. Like, I'm a lightweight. My bones literally make me light.
I make us go there faster.
So are you guys going to the tavern?
Yeah, let's head to the tavern. There's always someone to talk to at the tavern. We can see if we can get some more information.
I will take you
Bio
there.
break real quick.
Take me there.
So you guys cross through the town. You pass the townmaster's office on your left and the blacksmith on your right, and you pull up to the this kind of 2-story, pretty it's a pretty nice looking
Oh, nice.
tavern, despite the kind of rundown rest of the town. I mean, it's kind of the only game in town.
Mhm.
But it's called the Burning Barrel. You guys gonna go in?
Oh, yeah.
They're in
Or
already.
fuck, god damn it!
Carlos.
I'm trying to set the stage here, Michael.
I know you were doing a great job, and I took them there. You brought them
Do you
there.
want to sign up to the bar? and
They
get a
were
candle,
already
guys?
drinking, and I didn't.
I'm gonna go talk to this chick.
Okay, so well, why don't we just say that you guys are not quite there yet? You've just come in. Look at the hand of God moving you.
I'm possessed by the spirit.
All right. So, you see, I guess 4 people at the bar,
Mhm.
and another guy sitting alone at a table. You see a woman drinking by herself at the table by the door.
Hello.
You see a
Hello.
a dwarf woman behind the bar, tending bar, and you see a dragonborn in plate mail and a woman in a robe at the far end of the inn.
Hell yeah, that's who we're looking for, right? Your employer hired them. I don't know if you've met them before.
So before you guys can even move, the dwarf behind the counter approaches you, and she I guess she approaches you first because you're not on a table, and she sticks out your hand. She's like, oh my god, are you a Kenku?
'Tis I, a Kinku. You
Oh my god, did someone have to tell you how to say that before you learned how to say it? That's amazing. That's so cool. Oh my god. What are you? She looks at you. She's like, what are you? So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No.
You keep saying Genku.
Kinku.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, I just get excited when new people come to town, and you guys are like the newest people I've ever seen.
I'm a Kinku.
That is how time works.
Yeah, I get that. No, I mean, like, I've seen a Dragonborn. You're kind of old hat. Like, frankly, we have one in here. But my name's Bertha Godhammer. I own the Burning Barrel. Welcome to
My name's
Hollow.
Bertha Gardham.
Oh my god, that is so weird. Cool. That's wow. It's like my own voice coming out of me.
Wow, are you a dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does
That's
it
funny,
feel?
isn't it?
Not cool, is it? Not cool, is it?
I mean, look, you guys got to understand. It's a bit uncommon to have.
We are highly irregular.
Oh, look, everyone is welcome at the Burning Barrel. Please have a seat. Can I get you guys something to drink? We have some stuff from the Gentle Cud. We just stocked a new type of whiskey from the Smoky Bandit. They've been doing some really, really cool stuff over there. But,
7 will try their whiskey.
What do you want? They have a bunch of different types of.
Do you have some sort of menu, like a beer menu?
No, I mean, I'll
menu?
just, most of our patrons are peasants, so we don't really bother.
Yeah,
there's
I can see that.
This is a medieval bar, so there's like 4 things.
Can we have 3 samples?
Oh God! Do you have a tree that we can tie our cat to?
We should have. We should have some of the Smoky Bandit though, because
I would like to try that. Yes.
Look, okay, great. Which kind? We have they have a cinnamon whiskey, they have a honey whiskey, and they have a hot pepper whiskey.
What's been good this season?
It's all different.
Different. Did you italicize that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean it's different in that you've never tasted anything like this. Like it's really innovative.
What's the most innovative one?
Look, why don't I just look? You guys are new. I'm gonna get you guys a flight.
Excellent.
Okay.
And you can
Our bird loves flights.
That's a little low.
I mean, are you guys going to be in town? Are you going to be in town for a couple days?
I think so. Where's a good place to stay in this town? I'm assuming we don't live in our...
Upstairs.
7 floors up next to the fire.
This is the inn. Look, if you guys rent a room, I'll get you guys a free round of a flight of the.
Okay. Yeah, let's get a.
This seems like a good deal. There's not other hotels or places. There's not other inns in the town, are there?
No.
Yeah, I'm not buying a shitty tent from that Emporium.
Yeah, because we're not going back to the Emporium. We're not sleeping in the stupid thing. So yeah, I think we go to. I think this seems like a good deal.
This seems like a fine establishment, worthy of our gold and our time.
I mean, like, you have bedrolls in the wagon, but it's not anything special.
I would feel really shitty about sleeping in a wagon outside of a perfectly good hotel. And I do like that our cat is curled up by the fire while you've been...
Yeah, I'm like on my back and just
drunk sleeping
on my exposing my belly. I'm having a good time here.
Great. As they're talking with the bartender, I'm gonna approach the Dragonborn and the woman. It appears, I believe it's a woman.
Yes.
I'm going to approach them.
It's an elf. It's an elf woman.
An elf. I'm going to approach them. Is there like some type of secret hand signal that I can do that'll infer that that we work for the same person?
No, but you can try to convince them of such.
Do you have a business card?
Yeah. I'll walk up and well met.
Hello there. The Dragonborn says.
Hi.
What do you want?
My employer, I believe he sent us to, I think, clean up the mess that you made. I'm sorry, my name is Gwen. My compatriots are just over there, one by the fire.
You come here just to insult us?
Not to insult you, no, just to help you. We've been sent to help.
She didn't roll a high charisma.
Look, we've been through a lot, and we'd appreciate it if you guys just go back to your table of weirdos and leave us be. We're trying to have a drink, and we're going to be on our way.
Ryan, you can make a persuasion check if you like to try and smooth things over.
I heard them say weirdos.
Yeah.
My ears draw back when I heard that.
That's good enough.
Listen,
so Ruben
that cat's a weirdo. I'm not a weirdo.
I'm a weirdo.
The Dragonborn kind of sits up in his chair. Who's this now? Is this one of yours?
Yeah,
I'm one of mine, asshole.
This is my friend.
Bakak, bunch of weirdos. Bakak.
I like to think that Sam's like a Pokemon. He just keeps saying his race, man.
I'm a Kinku.
The Dragonborn says, "I don't appreciate being treated like this."
Look, it's fine, Aldriak. It's fine. Like, look, we're just leaving. If you'll excuse us, we'll be on our way. We just don't want any trouble.
Well, no trouble. I just you see we have a list here. My employer Rangul, Ragnul. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. I mean, I do know how to read. I definitely know how to read.
Trust me, she doesn't know how to read. Give me that.
Are you honestly paid to do this?
Wait. You're working for the Epicurean?
Yes, we've been sent to recover the items that have gone missing. We've already recovered some of them, but we're looking for the rest.
Some of them. What did you find?
Bunch of weirdos.
I try to lie and say that I didn't find anything, but before I'm able to say
Roll
that, I said,
We definitely found a bunch of burning corpses.
Well, doesn't matter.
I pull out the fire salts. I'm like, I found this, and I just shake it.
Oh, don't do that! Don't shake it!
And then I put it back in my bag.
I don't know. I kind of want to see him shake it again.
No, don't do that. So, you think you can recover these things?
We're hoping to. Our jobs depend on it.
I mean, we're assuming that it hasn't been destroyed. It's been lost, right? You lost it.
Well,
if you think you can fight off a demon witch, then be my guest.
it wasn't a witch, Aldriok. God. Look, you didn't even see anything. You were great.
I saw enough.
You were squirting out of your cloaca.
You don't talk to me like that. You don't talk to me like that.
I try to calm him down.
You can make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah.
Well, you should. What are you gonna say?
What am I gonna say?
What are you?
Bunch of weirdos.
Whoa,
He's gonna
friends.
just like rub his shoulder.
Friends, we're all trying to let's not wreck this fine establishment.
Don't
and
touch
get
me.
kicked
Do
out.
not touch me.
Buddy.
Don't touch me.
All right, buddy. I rolled a 6, so I guess I won't.
How about let's take a step back. Let's backtrack a little bit here. You mentioned that you had a hard time. I noticed some.
Look,
some
we lost 2 of our friends.
I know
Those
we
would be the
saw them.
bodies.
We saw them when we came
Yeah,
to town. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, it was my fault. I was trying to hit whatever it was, not a demon witch.
We're getting out of here as soon as we can. We're going back to Waterdeep, and we're never going to see this damn town again.
Yeah, and we are never working for the Epicurean ever again.
I'm more epicurious about how the stuff went missing.
We got attacked. It was late at night. We had set up camp for the night. By the time I knew what, Aldriok was shitting a brick behind a rock somewhere, and
there was a demon witch flying overhead.
There was not a demon witch
casting about.
Okay,
throwing its curses.
There was something flying. That much is true, but there's no such thing as a fucking demon witch. Okay.
I think that there is. These
you
men will testify that there are indeed demon witches.
Oh my god. This is what I have to deal with. Look, the bottom line is it was something that took out and look, no offense to you guys, you don't look that seasoned.
I mean, we're looking for spices. We would get. I mean, we'll solve that problem once we find the spices.
Boo! Boo!
What I'm gonna say is this is not all the fire salts. This is just a. What are you doing?
Wait,
oops, I just wanted to read that. I wasn't trying to cast it.
All right, well, you cast it last year. Everyone in here shits their pants.
Was it just a weird flying demon witch? Did the demon witch have...
It did. It flew over our camp and laid waste to 2 of my best men that I've worked with for years.
I told you, Aldriok, that was my fault. I tried to hit the not demon witch.
I like that you corrected it.
The 2 other guys whose names I can't remember right now because I'm so grief-stricken, they were in the way.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Wait,
I
wait.
run into the same problem.
The demon witch hypnotized you, Frey. I tell you, the demon witch hypnotized you. She made you think that.
Well, I think that if you say that this
Oh,
demon witch stole the Epicureans' things, then we need to pursue them.
Which way did the demon witch fly away with all of her
You
stolen
need to
goodies?
pursue them. We're
We
done.
will.
Hold
Oh,
on.
you-
I want to roll a whatever it is, an insight check on Carlos to see if he killed those people on purpose.
Oh, okay.
And then he wants to put on the sunglasses, and then the episode of CSI. This is the twist.
You sense genuine grief. Right.
Okay. So you really just couldn't remember their names.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't write them.
This is why the Epicurean gives people name tags. I'm telling you.
That's right. Mhm.
So as you guys are coming up, or finishing up, talking with them, Bertha comes back up to you guys with your flight of whiskey. She's like, "Here you guys go. Oh, you guys hey, look, are you guys like, cousins or something? Like
Bunch of weirdos.
What color is Aldriak? Mike, what color is Aldriak?
Red.
Red. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, he cousins? No? Okay. Well,
That's-
enjoy your whiskey.
Yeah.
So you guys have 3 different whiskeys. You have the honey whiskey, the cinnamon whiskey, and so
I'll get it.
one thing, it's not good. It's like Fireball, like.
Which is what I'm
But,
drinking right now, because that's all I had left.
However, in this context of this world, you've never tasted anything like this, so you don't really have a bearing for whether it's good or not. But in the larger outside real world context of good whiskey, terrible whiskey, but it's flavored, which is not a thing that you've experienced.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have had the honey whiskeys and stuff like that. Like I know a bunch of brands make it. It's kind of like pretty disgusting. All things
Jim
considered.
Beam makes it.
But if you had never had it before,
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It tastes like college. This bar tastes like college.
yeah. But it's definitely what you can tell is stuff coming out of the Smoky Bandit is, while in and of this world innovative, it is a lower quality product.
It is shallow.
Gentle cut.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's cheers.
To fallen friends.
Mhm.
So this
Oh,
guy sitting next to you
What?
guys just all of a sudden sat down at his table and really uncomfortable.
Say friend and raise a glass to him. To our new friend, and I'll put my big arm around.
To our new friend, John Some Guy.
John some guy. He raises his glass and drinks it too.
Devin
All right.
laps it up from his spoon.
Yeah, he's. I think he's gonna
It's a
subtly,
mess.
subtly, not too subtly, make his way over to the bar and
And turn around.
turn around.
All right. So while you guys are enjoying your, you notice as Aldriak and Frey leave.
Boop.
Goodbye.
Should we follow them?
I mean, they were kind of dicks, so you're welcome to.
But they're going somewhere interesting.
Are they?
In this town, I doubt it.
I think they're just trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
I did wish that they had pointed us in the direction of the Blood Witch. Fire Witch, whatever.
I like how we just took over this table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck that guy. We own this town.
I am the table now.
I think we should be able to track the. I have a feeling that that strange creature we saw has something to do with.
A lot of experience tracking flying witches you have, do you?
Not so much, but we have someone that can probably guide us through the woods.
Is it someone who drinks things out of spoons?
I think so. I mean,
Bryant, you
Look,
resemble that
nobody's
remark.
perfect.
Brian, what is the cat doing right now?
He's sampling the whiskeys.
Yeah, I'm not inspired with confidence.
Crack, when you approach this woman, you get a closer look at her, and she definitely strikes you like really broad shoulders, like really large, not as large as Guinelia, but she pale skin, red hair, looks like a northerner from what you recognize. But as you approach the table, she looks up at you, gives you a derisive stare, puts a couple coins down, and walks out. It's clear she did not want to be bothered.
She just floated through a wall. I think she's a witch.
No, sorry.
The witch.
How do I move?
Just a step around me and then go out the door.
She
Yeah,
walks
she's-
over the table.
I don't know how to use controls.
That's
But yeah,
She
so
walks,
she's
over here, over there,
Ah!
over here, over there, and goodbye.
so yeah, it's pretty much just you and a bunch of yokel mouth breathers.
But that girl is definitely different.
Yeah,
Yes.
because she has a special.
Yeah,
So
something
keep
something
her-
about her faceplate tells you something's going on with her.
I think we should go follow her.
That's rapey as all hell.
Yeah. I'm not interested in boning humans at all.
So
Are you shouting that across the bar at me?
Yeah.
Bertha,
I'm not interested in boning humans at all, guys.
Bertha comes back. So what did you guys think of the this bandit with?
Come running.
Interesting was the right call.
Yeah, it's definitely an innovative flavor set. I'm more partial to the the gentle cud myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Or
really just the
classic.
better.
I mean, those are
option.
the only two acts in town.
Yeah, there used to be some more. There was the fairy fire and the ornery dwarf, but those burned down a few months ago. And just recently there was the hatchet apple. And, people don't like to talk about it. There was a whole poisoning incident there where at the grand opening the town master got poisoned. It was really really bad. But
Wait.
it's pretty much what.
The town master's dead?
Well, the old town master. We elected a new. There were a lot of accusations being lobbed around about who might have done something, but word on the street is it was the the people at the Gentle Cud. Grem, nobody likes him, but he makes a good whiskey.
Grem or Graham?
Grem, Grem,
Mm.
Grem Cudsworth.
How long ago was this?
That was about last month. And the hatchet apple because of it. It was really ugly.
How long has
Bleeding out of his eyes, his ears, whatever.
Ugh, been there, done that. Not great. The Smoky Band. How long have they been operating?
They've been open about a year, and they've been holding. But things have gotten a little tense in town, and by a little I mean there's been some violence in the streets.
Between who?
Over whiskey?
Well, yeah, it's it's a pretty competitive business here.
It's very spirited.
It's a serious business.
All right, you're now on empty.
You are out of puns, sir.
Yeah.
We're sending you to the pungeon.
Oh no,
Not the pungeon.
not Pungeons. Is there a dragon in there? You're dragging me over my puns? No. All right, so we have two distilleries that burned down. One was shut down for poisoning, and then another one seems to be holding out, which is good for them.
That woman that just that was over in the corner that just left. Who was that?
Oh, that's Vala. She owned the Hatchet Apple Distillery, but she doesn't anymore.
We're looking for some items. caravan.
Like, okay, yeah, like I think most adventurers are looking for items.
It's like a quest. We have a list. We
Oh,
lost some stuff. Some people lost some things, and we're just gonna go get it back.
oh, well, there was this group of knights that came through a few days ago. I don't know if they're like looking for the same things or anything. They said they were going in the woods to hunt a demon.
A demon,
I told them
Oh.
not to go. I told them not to go into the woods because nobody ever comes out.
Nobody, not even people who buy adventure packs. We were told that people come out of the woods. I knew that guy was full of shit.
Yeah,
I think we
Fort
should,
and Bryce.
Especially people that buy adventure packs.
Yeah. I think maybe we should have maybe a couple more drinks, get a good night's rest, and then I think we should head out into the woods.
It's nighttime.
7
Look,
degrees.
It's like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, because
Where should we?
You can investigate the town a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
they're pretty drunk already. And I
there's
mean,
still plenty of time to burn.
listen, guys. We can do a lot. Got a carpet diems, you know.
Cock-a-doodle-doo-doo-doo.
Carpe diem.
Well, let's say you have a couple hours till sundown. Because like fantasy people go to bed at 6 p.m.
when the sun goes away.
So why don't we? But what sundown is when businesses will shut down for the night.
Mhm.
So you have a couple hours to go to
We
other
should-
places in town and
we
look
should
for clues.
Go to the
Go
town
to
master.
town
I
master.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head there.
All right. Let's see.
we don't have a budget for that, so you're going back to the theater of the mind.
You need to label it the Theater of the Mind. I want that on a banner.
All right, so you guys head to the town master's offices, and they are pretty nondescript. Like they just look kind of like a mayoral type clerk's office. He doesn't have an assistant or anything. It's just kind of like a single room. It's almost like a trailer, but made of wood.
Mhm.
So you guys enter. And,
Congratulations on the new job.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'll sort of push forward and be like, I'm sorry. My name is Gwen.
Bunch of weirdos.
My bunch of weirdos.
Not drunk. You can't prove it.
I'm not drunk. You're
haven't-
drunk.
We've spent the afternoon sampling your town's fine whiskeys.
Oh, don't
Great.
please don't talk to me about fucking whiskey anymore.
How
Had
have
it
you been having?
Oh, now that makes sense.
You've been having problems, I hear.
Yeah,
Whiskey
look,
distilleries in town?
I was elected just a couple weeks ago after I don't know if you heard about our last town master, but poisoned
Blood out of the eyes, right? Yeah, every time.
out of his whatever too.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's I just look. There's been some fights. There's just been a lot of problems with the whiskey business in this town, and when I ran for town master here, the town elected me on the promise that I would solve some of this, and so far it's just gotten worse.
A lot of the trouble coming from the HUD.
It's all around.
Hmm.
Look, I'm not originally from here, so I give
Oh, from where do you hail?
Baldur's Gate.
You said that so fast. Tough town.
Yeah, it's a kind of a shithole too. Just a bigger shithole. But I promised I would put an end to this strife that's been going on here, but I can't see you. Look, one of these places has got to go. I don't fucking care how someone does it. It's not a matter of commerce or business. I just I'm at my wit's end here, and I just they're both bad.
Have you considered hiring a specialist?
A kinku.
With a special set of skills.
A particular set of skills.
Look, if you guys can take care of for me, I'll help you. What do you? I'll help you do whatever you're doing, whatever you're in town for, because clearly you're not in town for this.
Nope.
We need to find a bunch of herbs and spices that
And a
probably
dragon's heart.
Did you
but
try
a
the
whiskey
general store?
distillery would have herbs and spices that we needed.
We may want to actually investigate that shitty distillery because they like to spice and like herb their whiskeys.
Yeah.
So they would have some type of interest in procuring interesting spices.
Are you guys talking about the Smoky Bandit?
Yeah, Smoky Bandit.
Yes.
Well, we're
Yeah,
not talking about anything. We want to give you plausible deniability.
Well, yeah, it's a newer game. I mean, they've been around about a year. It was what's her name? Never really see her much. Deidre Half Moon. She's all right. You know, she's nice enough around town, but I don't know. She's been undercutting. I think Gentle Cud's been pissed because she's been undercutting the prices by a lot.
Mm.
Then you know the mouth breathers say the pay is shit. But I don't know. I don't know her from a drow, so.
How are you? How's the town in terms of the gold department? Got a lot of money in these parts?
That seems like a reasonably suspicious question.
Not if I'm really charming about it.
Yeah. Well, you might. Yeah, if you're looking for spices, I guess you could talk to her, but you know, I don't know. I would steer clear of Grem. He's an asshole.
Grem.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, he just does that in character.
Always be spelling.
Yeah.
Look, I know the Cudsworths have provided a lot of commerce for this town and a lot of jobs, but I don't know. I don't trust them. There's something fishy about them.
So, you dislike both of them?
I look. This town needs a whiskey distillery to keep going. That much I know, but it's not going to survive this rivalry any longer than it has to. It's
People have died.
people have died.
People have died.
So
Okay.
if you guys can take care of business, be very grateful.
He'll be so grateful, guys.
All right, let's team talk. Team talk. Here we go.
Okay.
Step outside.
Which one do we want to? We'll just run over here in the corner. Which one do we want to take out? Do we want to take out the cud or the other one?
I really liked how much the cud tasted, but they are kind of dicks.
I mean,
But also,
Do we suspect that maybe what was the other one?
Smoky Bandit.
For that
Smoky Bandit.
Oh, okay. Do we suspect they maybe set up by the cut?
I mean,
Yeah.
if we're doing this evidence based, we're lacking in that.
But even if we find out that we could still make the Smoky Bandit take the fall if we don't like them.
I don't like their booze. I don't necessarily don't like them.
So we need to go meet Grem and whatever the drow chick.
Deidre, she's not drow.
No, that was just a phrase. That was a euphemism.
That's that really confuses kinkus. I'll tell you what.
You're really confused. Have a kinky smell euphemism.
You can only spell it if you spelled it for him.
Yeah.
Also, this is not what you're here for, so fuck these people.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's the thing. Like, he didn't offer to pay us; he just offered to help us. So, unless he can help us
Though.
get paid, I don't really give a fuck.
Or we could go out to the woods and fuck around in nature, trying to figure out what jackals.
yeah, we should let's stay focused on this town's problems are its own. I think we should stay focused on why we're here. I think we need to head out into the woods.
I mean, if we're gonna extort this guy for some money, that'd be great. But
So,
Yeah,
do we
but
want to do anything else tonight?
Yeah, how
Or
much
do we
daylight
wanna-
do we have left?
I mean, extortion's still on the table. Like, you could try to get him to offer you some money if you wanted some money.
Okay.
You know, it's like it's not impossible. He was saying he left an open-ended offer to help
Yeah.
you, whatever that means.
Yeah, we could still get stuff. What do we
Hey,
need?
you
We
didn't
need
Who has the
ruby.
highest charisma?
I really like money, guys.
Who has the highest
Wait.
charisma?
Who has the
Well,
highest
let's
persuasion?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'll ask him. Well, let's explore. You were mentioning that you could make it worth our while to take care of and having. Can we put? Let's put
A number on it?
Yeah, let's put some hard figures down on the table, and we'll see what we can do for you.
All right, you want to have Gwen roll persuasion?
You have been persuaded.
I feel like she's pulled out her glasses and is peering over them again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got her readers down on the very tip of.
Do they have pens that click? Because that would be great too.
Mhm.
Um,
My hand is on my the hilt of my longsword.
Ooh, so are you doing intimidation?
No, not intimidation. Just I have my hand on.
Okay.
No, I think Ruben will intimidate.
Look, if
No.
if you're able to solve this problem for me, I'll look. We don't have a lot, but I'll pay you 400 gold. And look, whatever. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you can take whatever you find from wherever you find it.
I like the cut of this guy's jib. I'm saying that because I'm a sailor.
From, and I don't mean from the city, but you.
Oh,
and
we
he
know
just
what you
sort of-
mean.
He looks at you and he tries to wink, but he blinks at you.
So wait,
Oh, yeah.
is that a sound? Is that a sound?
Blinking?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he's not. He doesn't have soggy eyes.
don't know.
it's kind of like a.
Um,
Well, that was disconcerting. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
all right.
If we start trying to sabotage this other distillery, we don't know what the repercussions are going to be as we're
Repercussions
we're
for
planning
people who care about repercussions.
But we don't know.
True.
I'm with
True.
our giant friend.
She is big-hearted.
If we're going to cause a little
Mayhem.
chaos in town, we may want to leave that for the last thing that we do.
Yeah.
I am chaotic neutral, so I give 0 fucks.
I concur with Gwen.
But what if one of them's using a weird witch to fuck people up?
That's fine, but then we'll find that out in the course of our investigation in the woods, because that's where she.
No one. I'm just worried about the woods. No one pointed us in that there was a witch that was flying in the air.
We should have followed those two that were leaving.
They want nothing to do with them. So, although the woods are a good bet, I think the knights went that way too.
Yeah. My gut says that all these things are probably related.
That's what I'm thinking.
Telling me. Yeah, let's.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to blow anything up. I just don't know if it's worth poking around those places before we leave.
Yeah, go ahead. One thing I forgot to mention, you noticed as you pulling up to the inn,
Yeah.
is that the other river is completely clear.
The
river
14 or the 13?
14. 13 is not. 13 is the
So-
one full of sludge.
So the gentle cud is full of shit.
Well, I mean, you don't know what the composition.
That's a lot of extrapolation.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, that one's weird, and then the one
Good.
at the Smoky Bandits.
Both of these rivers are coming off of waterfall. Is that correct?
Yeah, but something is happening. The
Inside
swirl
of the
at the bottom. No, at the bottom
Oh, the waterfall.
of the waterfall where it's separating whatever that sediment is, and it's going down 13.
I drank that.
Before we leave the town, I guess the town masters. Well, I'm going to ask him about the water. The deal with the water in town.
It's fair.
Yeah, that's that waterfall up there. It's that Pete's tribute, and yeah, it's gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of sediment. I don't really know what it is. Just comes down off that lake up there, and I don't know. Something happens in that swirl there where it all of it gets kind of pushed down the Smoky River, which is the one that you probably crossed over coming into town,
Mm-hmm.
and but we use that water to irrigate our barley, which is it just has a lot of minerals in it. Something about it's really really special. And then we use the pure clean water on the other side in our distilling process. It's a really, I don't know, it's just this station. It seems tailor made for this business that is tearing our town apart.
Oh,
Interesting.
irony of ironies.
All right. Well, let's.
This forked river is tearing this town apart.
Let's
Should
get to
we
it.
go check out 12 then?
Yeah. What's 12?
That's the
That's
waterfall.
the waterfall.
Oh, yeah. Let's go check out the waterfall.
Okay,
Let's
so
go chasing waterfalls.
as you okay, so you pass, you go behind the inn, and you see the Gentle Cud Distillery to your left, and the Bandit Distillery on your right. And up ahead, you see the kind of the shuttered windows and stuff of the Hatchet Apple, and you kind of climb the fence over the back, and you can see the lake, and or not lake. It's more of just the kind of base of a waterfall, but it is kind of like a swirling morass of pure water, and then this sediment, and it's getting separated. I mean, a little bit of it goes down, the river heading south, but most of the sediment is getting swept away from the North River. It's actually like really beautiful.
What was building 16?
That's a hatchet apple, isn't it?
Yeah, and you guys are right behind that.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see if I notice anything, like
Sure.
of if there's like a magical effect with like separating the water?
I mean, wouldn't that be a detect magic spell? Do something like that?
No, Arcana
No.
can detect like.
Can do that? Okay. Cool.
If you've ever, it's like knowledge of the Arcana. If you've ever heard of something like this happening, basically.
Mm-hmm. Or like what type of magic could produce this effect?
Yeah. There's no magic present per se. Like that, you don't see any magic in this. It just seems like the natural kind of current and weight of the sediment is going towards the higher elevation river. It's the easier runoff for it.
Right. Okay.
So it's just getting kind of twisted around there. But there doesn't seem magical
Okay.
afoot.